Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes podcast. My name is Travis Bowe from the Watchmen Minute podcast.
And I'm Patrick from this podcast.
The best podcast.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, it's got the most charismatic person in podcasting on it.
And me.
Not to toot my own horn, but I just did.
That's right.
Toot.
Someone has to.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. And I'm the only one that's going to.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So we're here back with a familiar character.
Yeah.
James Bartholomew Bond. I have no idea if that's his middle name, but
it works for me.
Sounded right.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're new to the show, every episode we revisit geeky movies chronologically and try to escape our enemies by skiing down the slopes in a cello case. And you can find our list of reviews over at realpodcastnetwork.com.
I never thought it would be so cool to be a cellist. Such action.
Oh yeah, it's a wild and crazy, life being a cellist.
Yeah, I mean,
always dodging gunfire and on the run.
And the case doubles as a transportation device.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
know
right.
that. So more you know.
Right.
That should have been a Mythbusters thing. If you can slide down a mountain on a cello case.
I found a image. I think that this cello case is like in a museum. It's on display, and it looks like they welded, some kind of like steel plate on the underneath side.
Yeah,
of course,
you'd have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Although it is a Stradivarius, so maybe all those come in those hardcore cases to protect them.
That could be, yeah.
Because they're worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars according to 1987.
True.
So that's like $5 million today.
We don't even need to check that math, I'm sure.
No,
Yep.
Rock solid.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. When I was reading the synopsis, I thought we were in store for a scientist adventure because I thought it said cellist.
Cellist?
I was like, oh, somebody that studies cells.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Like a botanist.
Sure. Biology.
I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. That's a cello. But for a second, I thought we were on a scientific adventure. American school system. Gotta love it. Okay. So, want to do some Bond-erific taglines?
Please.
So, should say we're in The Living Daylights, James Bond, the first of the Timothy Dalton. And the taglines reflect that this is a new Bond. And kind of, just go over the same thing of how different he is. And that's pretty much most of the taglines here.
Sure.
So we have James Bond, 007, at his most dangerous in The Living Daylights. There's going to be a theme here.
Okay.
This Bond, all caps, is dangerous. And then one of them's more of a statement. Timothy Dalton is the new James Bond, 007.
Wow.
Not so much a tagline as a statement. Enigmatic, dangerous, always living on the edge. There's a lot of edge play, which I don't understand.
I think the one that I have on my, like for iTunes, the cover art that I have, the new James Bond, living on the edge.
Yep, that's another one. License to Thrill. 007 Thrills, 007 for Thrills, 007 for Romance. And I would love to know where that romance kicked in, because I did not see that. Let's see. And then the most dangerous Bond ever. Yeah.
So, yeah, they found a theme and basically beat that horse to death.
Living on the edge. It's the only way he lives.
Oh my God.
That's my favorite. I don't realize which one I like until I read it out loud.
Sure.
That last one really catches me.
Nice.
Listening to these, you'd think that the title had something to do with On the Edge.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
It's weird that they had one, you said License to Thrill. Like,
yeah, I know.
Considering the next movie is License to Kill, it seems...
Yeah, I wonder if IMDb mixed one in or something.
Possibly, yeah.
That's weird. But yeah.
Well,
That's
all
what
right.
we're working with here. Real cutting edge marketing.
Yep.
Jeez. Okay.
And do you have any history with Living Daylights?
I do not.
Okay.
I may have seen it because parts of it looked familiar,
Sure.
but only in passing, like if, like a relative was watching it or something.
Sure.
But I don't think I've ever actually watched it from start to beginning.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's only the second time, maybe third, that I've ever watched this one.
Okay.
I've said, I think, several times with some of these Bond movies, that I've marathoned them in the past, just trying to watch them all a
And
couple
that is a
years ago. And
marathon.
what's
That
that?
is a marathon.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hours.
Well, not like in one sitting, but
Yeah.
and over the course of a few weeks, I've.
Oof.
So that's kind of when I watched most of the Bond movies would have been a few years ago, and this would have been in that list, of course, and so I definitely watched it, but I don't think it made a huge impression on me. So
Yeah, it's we'll get into it later, but
yeah,
this caught me off guard.
okay,
Yeah. All right. So act breaks.
yeah.
Who are you?
Bond, James Bond.
Act 1 starts with a new James Bond taking his sweet-ass time walking in a gun barrel sequence and ends with British intelligence licking their wounds after General Koskov is stolen from right under their noses. Act 2 starts with Bond getting to know the cello player Kara Milovi and ends with Bond and Kara hiding out in the Afghan desert with some rebels. And Act 3 starts with Bond and the Mujahideen selling opium to General Koskov and ends with Bond surprising Kara in her dressing room.
Oh, Bond. Let's see here. We got the slow walk, of course, with the new entrance.
I don't know why. It just seemed slower than any of the other Bonds up to this point.
Which is weird because I thought... whatchamacallit, Roger Moore was probably the slowest Bond ever in history.
Yeah, I think they definitely like the intro, action scene. I like that, once we see Dalton, he's running, not up a mountain, but it's a very action heavy and physically active, little sequence. So I'm guessing that's to say, hey, we're pumping some fresh blood into the Bond franchise that, we may have been needing for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 movies. So
yeah, well, that and it's the sign of the times with action movies.
Sure.
That's kind of Bond's thing, is sort of moving with the times.
Yeah.
The Roger Moore era kind of lingered longer than I would think anyone would have expected, but
yeah.
It sort of had its own charm, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely, hey, look at what we can do. There's a long sequence of running and no cut.
Yeah.
So.
Before we get like into the real action of it, though, it starts with M in this plane that we find out, and it's honestly, like I think it's pretty great. Just he gets up from the desk and you realize he's, this desk and office is in a plane. And I'll be curious. As I was writing this, of course, it's in the present tense, and I had I'll be curious to see if it fits the tone of this new era. Certainly fits in with the Roger Moore and some of the later Connery Bond movies where M has an office in every conceivable location, and there's like trophies on a file cabinet and framed items on the wall and
loose papers.
Yeah. I love that he's like nonchalantly getting like fitted with this safety harness before they open the door and everything. So
yeah, it's a big what the hell moment.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, maybe this is saying goodbye to the funnier, lighthearted times of Roger Moore.
Could be, yeah.
Because it is a real weird and goofy kind of sequence.
Sure.
Like, it's not a very serious sequence by any means. It's more slapsticky. Kind of like, oh, my papers. Hold them back together. As we open up the Bombay doors or whatever. It's like a cargo plane or something.
Yeah.
That happens to also be his office without any reason given.
Sure.
But
Of course, we've seen his office like built into a sunken submarine, and in a what was the one where I think in Moonraker or something where they have I don't know, they go visit this place and it's all decked out with Q's laboratory and gadgets and all this.
Oh
and that.
yeah,
But
and there's like some underground ones that I'm playing on, but that's pretty standard. I mean, if it's gonna be in a plane, at least room it off. Don't have it right at the ramp,
sure.
maybe. Just saying. Very least, don't have so many knickknacks and items that can get sucked out. Although, man, he scrambled to catch all those papers, so I guess that let us know what kind of action we were in for.
That's right.
Yeah, and then they just, fall out, go into a training paintball session.
Yeah. And I like that they make it, fairly obvious that it's a training sequence right off the bat. Of course, there's someone that they don't expect to be there. The guy that's
takes it way too seriously.
yeah.
Really wants to win.
Mm-hmm. He plays for keeps.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the scope of this game.
Okay.
Because even like the guards at the gate have paintball guns.
Right. Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out what was the purpose of this training initially that would require people way down at the guard gate to need a paintball gun. Like, was it infiltrate and escape? I may have missed it in the plane, but
yeah, M says something about they're infiltrating like an a British, SAS base or fort here on the Rock of Gibraltar.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the Double O's mission just to, I guess, get in and get out without being detected.
Gotcha. So, well, maybe not parachute in the middle of the day.
Maybe.
Just start. I'm like, oh, great, they're camouflaged.
Yeah. Well, M even says, like, they know you're coming. They just don't know, when and maybe where and how and all that. So they're on high alert. So they know that they're going to be attacked, in quotes. So it makes it even more challenging to get in undetected, I guess. So, but yeah,
I was wondering why nobody was shooting them while they were dropping, but now I know because the paintball wouldn't fly that far.
Well, I assume they didn't see them. Like that was part of their infiltrating undetected. I got the impression that no one spotted them until, we see one or two of them start getting picked off with the paintballs.
Except one guy that got stuck in the tree, he was killed immediately. Like,
yeah,
I
kind of lost track of which ones were.
Yeah, because I think Dalton's character was the one that quickly got rid of the parachute.
Yeah,
and, hid into the brush, but that one guy got stuck in a tree, dropped, stood there, got shot.
Okay, that's right.
So it was like they were on him pretty quick.
Yeah,
at least that one anyway.
And I looked in the credits at the end of the movie, and the other Double O's with Bond are 002 and 004.
Man, whichever one just stood there kind of sucks. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, we get the action sequence we've been waiting for.
Yeah, and the truck fight kind of thing is
a
little reminiscent of the Raiders of the Lost Ark, a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. I do like the escape from said truck, though. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really dig that fight. Like, and they ramp it up. The truck's on fire, and they do a little driving through the village kind of thing that we've seen in other Bond movies. And you're not expecting the truck to hit the wall and just go sailing like kind of off the cliff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really dig that.
And then the whole parachute to pull them out of the back of the truck thing, that was pretty sweet. I thought that was pretty well done.
Sure.
And then, the thing that always bugs me, though, with scenes like this, with somebody riding on top of a car, is that I don't know what's keeping them on top of the car.
Just their kung fu grip.
Like, there's maybe a seam of canvas or something that he can dig his nails into, but it's almost comical how he's flailing about on top and still holding on somehow.
I love though when he slices it open with a knife and starts to crawl inside, and he's like half, inside the cab and messing with the driver, and I thought that was great.
As a student of film, I thought that was a great representation of a birth of a new Bond. I just made that up.
Yeah, that sounded good. I thought it was when they Earlier when they all jump out of the plane, they're leaving the old ways behind.
Oh, yeah. If only. Well, they are naval, so that was semen dropping down into the womb of Mother Earth. I don't know. Are they all seamen though? Like I know Bond's like an admiral or whatever.
Yeah, he's like a naval commander, I think.
But I wonder if they're all from like different branches of military.
Oh, I
The
don't know.
double O's. Huh.
Probably.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's like Men in Black. They just take the best of whoever.
The best of the best.
That's right. Damn it. It's the last suit you're ever going to wear. I mean, come on.
That's right.
It's right there. Well, I guess it's a tuxedo, but, close enough.
Yeah.
All right.
I was surprised by the song by Aha.
And I was waiting for Take On Me to start up.
Kind of, yeah. This one seemed a lot like Duran Duran's song from the previous movie.
I think I wrote down it's a little late to the new wave game.
I kind of like it, though. it's not a song that I've heard.
Bad.
Yeah, I haven't heard this one a lot, so I didn't recognize it really. And a few beats of it I sounded familiar, but overall I kind of liked it. Nothing in the actual intro, credit sequence really stood out to me. I mean, the typical silhouettes and ladies, kind of moving to not even to this music really, but
just swaying.
Yeah, swaying, a lot of gunfire, some silhouettes, that kind of stuff. Nothing, like I said, nothing really stood out to me there.
What did stand out is right before where Bond takes the giant cell phone.
Oh yeah,
from the lady on the boat looking for a real man.
No, it's a cellular phone. Yeah, that was like a kind of a cool way to let him do the James Bond line and show that he's taking out this bad guy. He's prepared to report to his superiors, but he's going to give himself an extra hour to, get to know this his host.
Yeah. Oh, Bond. What a romantic.
That's right. And you thought there was no romance in this one.
Yeah. There absolutely is no romance in this one.
I don't know, sir. There's a carnival date scene later, and
yeah, it doesn't last long. Any romance, I should say. Like I don't see him wooing anyone really. Like the cellist, I didn't really buy that whole thing.
Okay.
Like they seem more friendly than, I don't know. Dalton just didn't seem like he had that je ne sais quoi or whatever. Maybe he's just not my kind of Bond.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
He's definitely not as smooth as a Roger Moore.
Nah.
Or maybe a Pierce Brosnan.
He's more aggressive.
Yeah, and it seems like they've definitely tried, hardening some of Moore's softer edges, and because Dalton is more gruff, and like at first it seems like once we get out of the credit sequence and into like kind of the next little scene, it seems as though they want Bond to assassinate someone because he's putting together this rifle. I meant to look up the rifle because that gun looked huge.
That scope was insane.
Yeah.
I thought it was like off of a camera.
Yeah.
Like it was like at least like a 4 or 5 inch diameter. Like,
yeah.
I've never seen a sniper scope that huge before.
Yeah. Even the gun itself, though, was just massive and bulky, and especially for just being like a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
And it seemed weird at first because assassination isn't something that we really ever see James Bond do. Then you kind of figure out that it's not an assassination attempt; it's more of a protection detail. He's not taking out a target; he's taking out a sniper. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
it's supposed to be a KGB sniper.
Right. But at first when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I could buy this Bond being an assassin, So whereas you would never see Roger Moore doing something like that. Maybe Connery, you could kind of see him.
I could see Connery doing it.
I would definitely say that Dalton is a lot more like some of the rougher edges that Connery had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, one of my first early notes was that this is a much angrier Bond.
Yeah.
Like, just like the...
more severe.
Yeah. Like, he means business.
Right. I thought they did a pretty good job of establishing or explaining that this Koskov he wants to defect. And so that's why they're there to, protect him and make sure he can get across, this border. And I loved the pipeline escape plan.
Oh, Yeah, I mean, that Russian lady was awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really liked her. That it's like another person that's not a typical Bond girl who gets to use like their feminine wiles to help out Bond and distract this guy. I really thought that scene was pretty awesome.
I know it's horrible of me, but I totally thought she was just going to go kill him.
Sure.
I mean, she's got the wrench,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like she looks like a severe Russian, like almost like dominatrix lady.
Sure.
Like she could like do some damage, and then when she goes in and seduces him, I was like, okay, then we're
Yeah.
going this route. I
I
like
really
it.
liked that. I thought that was
Yeah,
great.
it was cool. I love that.
That's the same actress that plays in The Fifth Element. The larger lady that they're setting up Bruce Willis's character to go undercover to get on, go through the mission or whatever. It's one of the people that he
Oh
shoves
yeah.
into the
Uh
fridge.
huh. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm really, with the whole pipeline thing, I'm really surprised that they had the restraint not to have Koskov like screaming the entire way through the tube and have all the
Yeah.
people reacting to like someone, yelling in this pipeline. They definitely react to something going through the pipeline, but like I said, I'm surprised it wasn't a,
Yeah. It was a very surprisingly cool sequence.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just the noise it made, like zoop zoop
Yeah.
zoop. And the fact that Bond didn't make any laying pipe jokes was awesome.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
Like
think about that.
Moore would have had something to say.
That's a good point. Yeah, definitely would have had a like. I don't know though. Is that a?
It would have been like the boys have been laying this pipe or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Laying pipes, an old way of saying, getting busy.
Thanks,
If
Grandpa.
nobody knew that, yeah. Figured I'd explain in case we get some millennials.
Yeah.
It's not,
There's
it's in the Urban Dictionary, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He gets to get in that sweet vertical takeoff plane.
That's true. Yeah.
That's
I don't know
what they're
if
prepping him for.
Yeah.
Because it's a funny sequence while Bond's just driving through. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, he has like a weird, like, knowing look with a guard or something when they see the plane take off.
Yeah. We also meet the new Moneypenny,
Yep.
played by Caroline Bliss, and her credits seem like this is her big thing was this and the next Bond movie. She did a few other things, like she played Princess Diana in some kind of,
I could see that.
maybe
Yeah.
it was a made-for-TV movie, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't feel the chemistry between her and Dalton the way that like Moore and Lois Maxwell had, I think. So it's one or the other element doesn't work for me. It's either she's not the right Moneypenny for him or he's not the right Bond for her. And we don't get enough of her to really, like, I don't dislike her, but there's something.
I think it's Dalton. Like,
It might be, yeah.
I don't believe anything about him as far as being
Okay.
a seductor of
Sure,
sorts.
sure.
Like, he's just, like I said, I think he's just more aggressive than anything.
Well, it's weird. Like they do this bit where she takes off her glasses and he puts her glasses back on her, and then you hear two like patting noises. Like I assume cause they're framing the
Jeez.
camera completely, shoulders up, just
Yeah.
headshots. But you hear this two little smack sounds.
Anytime you want to drop by and listen to my Barry Manilow collection.
And I'm assuming he pats her on the ass twice. She reacts as he walks away, like kind of gives out a little sigh, like that typical, like, but there's no reaction really with the patting noises. Just, I thought it was weird. Like, I don't know.
We're gonna be getting a huge sigh from me in a minute
Okay.
with the boombox.
Oh, sure. The ghetto blaster.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, Q, you're better than this.
Right.
Why didn't they just call it a boombox?
Mm.
Emphasis on the boom. Like, why did you go ghetto blaster?
Well.
Like, it's so stupid. Oh, Q, he disappointed me. But he's getting up there.
Yeah, that's true.
He's only got a few more movies left, right?
He goes all the way until...
I know he's done with Pierce, right?
He's in the second to last Pierce Brosnan movie.
Okay, so that goes into the deep 90s then.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Maybe even 2000, early 2000. Well,
Really?
no, because I think the last Brosnan movie, Die Another Day, was 2002. I think Desmond Llewellyn was Q in the one before that, so that might have been 99 or 2000, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like
But
he passed away in 99.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, 1914.
Right. And the crazy thing is, he died in a car crash. Like not even, an old age kind of thing. Just
I just like to think that, like, if you go back in time with him, that his greatest invention before that was like the ice box. Like, I mean, that is going back in time when he was a young man. It would have been like 30s.
Yeah.
So the amount of technology changes in his lifetime as Q has got to be insane.
Yeah, it's crazy to think of the leaps in technology and stuff that happened.
Just in the Bond time frame.
Sure.
It's just
well, the first not Dr. No, but From Russia with Love, like his gadget was a briefcase with, some gold coins, a knife, and rifle that you have to put together,
Yeah, and now he can shoot a rocket out of a boombox.
That's right. Do you want to talk about the estate attack?
Oh, that safe house?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah. Okay, I got weirdly off track and started looking up women's right to vote in 1920. So
okay.
He was born before women had a right to vote. That's what we're talking about here.
Oh, man, yeah.
So the suffrage movement was going on when he was a little kid. Man, okay, my brain is out of control. Yeah. All right. I was thinking his greatest invention was the right to vote for women. But yeah. Oh, well, I guess is he English? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid question, huh? All right, so I think my brain's back up and running. So the safe house that is a palatial horse ranch estate.
Seems like it. And I don't know what this place is because they have you have a gardener with a rake that's also like a radar antenna.
I thought it was like a metal detector for weapons.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Okay, because he's the guy that says we'll need to take all your.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I just assumed it was because it was spinning, and I just thought that was what's picking up the radio signals. But yeah,
it's acting like a radar, but
okay,
it sort of lets him know that there's a weapon he needs to confiscate.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's some weird stuff like that. So is that guy just always there, milling about, looking like he's busy with a wheelbarrow and being the groundskeeper? Or thought that was kind of strange, but
it's rather unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah.
You could just have a detection system at the gate.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a waste of money, paying a guy to pretend to be a gardener. Jeez. But we got probably my favorite henchman.
I had a similar note. This guy Necros he's up there for me. He's one of my favorite henchmen throughout all of the Bond movies we've watched. I think he is great.
Oh yeah, and it's just it's a really awesome introduction to him too. He's sort of it shows that he's kind of a chameleon of sorts.
Yeah, because he can do the British, accent, and I guess I think he's KGB, so I guess he's Russian. They don't really, I don't think they really sell that he's Russian very well as far as just the performance, but he seems more like a German,
Yeah, it's probably the hair.
Yeah. But no, I think he is great. I really dig the sequence with him posing as the milkman, and
there's a jogger, and then he comes back. The guy hears the music from the headphones, and then he's like, huh, and then strangle cord. I'm assuming it's like a garrote headphone wire or something.
Yeah, I assume it's more heavy duty than your standard headphone cord. Which would make sense. That's something that the KGB would engineer as a assassination tool.
But it's perfect for 1987 because that was cool technology.
Hell yeah.
A Walkman. Although I'm surprised there wasn't more product placement with it.
Sure.
I guess that comes into play a little more later in the Bond universe.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that the keyring thing,
That's
gadget
true.
that Q gives him says Phillips on it. So
Yeah.
they're definitely have a few little branded
Yeah.
product tie-ins, I guess. Yeah, I really do dig the kidnapping of Koskov here. Like,
Yeah.
right, and even the one of the Minister of Defense says, like in the next scene, like that he was taken from right under their noses. So
Mm-hmm. And they were defeated by a guy throwing milk bottles.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I love that.
It's great planning considering he must have known that there would be a milk delivery at a certain point, and so
that's a good way to get like something dangerous in if things didn't go perfect.
Yeah,
like it gets him past the rake dar and all that. So,
although the guy at the gate, like, let's be honest, he should have, if you're not used to dealing with your usual delivery guy, then there should be a phone call made to check his credentials and so that guy failed at his job in so many ways.
Yeah.
I do think though, as great as this like kidnapping sequence is, it's a little bit of a wasted opportunity because Bond is there on the estate.
I know. I was like, where the hell's Bond?
Yeah, he's like in the intelligence briefing or what's it called when you debrief, they're debriefing Koskov and getting all of his information, and then Bond just kind of disappears and
that's what I wrote down. I'm like, where the hell's Bond?
Yeah, so it could have had a decent spot for him to have a fight with Necros, and but then I guess then that would have to imply then that he would fail at keeping Koskov from being kidnapped. So maybe you don't want to show that, but
well, he failed already. He was there. I mean,
right? Yeah.
I would love to see like a deleted scene where Bond's just in the bathroom and.
Yeah.
He's like really having a rough time of it. And he's like, oh man, I got to get out there.
Starts hearing gunfire
my stomach.
Yeah.
Like that's the only excuse I can give Bond for not showing up.
Yeah.
He's got some stomach issues. But yeah, I was like, did he leave? Like I was really genuinely confused as to why Bond was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. But I'll give the I guess the butler, because I think it's the butler that shows Bond in.
Awesome.
He does a really good job of fighting Necros, in the kitchen. So that's kind of that. I kind of wish that was Bond in that fight, but
but then he would have gotten a scar on his beautiful face.
Yeah. But how cool would it be to flip it and then give Necros the facial scar that he has throughout the rest of the movie or something?
Yeah, which he should because he's a henchman.
Right. Yeah.
He's supposed to have some like quirk about him.
Yeah, usually either the henchman or the big villain have some kind of
nobody's got that
memorable.
I mean, I guess they dress up as generals a lot, and that's their thing. But
we'll get to him later.
And then I guess the henchman Necros has just got blonde hair.
Yeah,
that's the only distinguishing thing he has, really, is that he's very German looking.
Yeah.
I guess that's enough in Cold War times.
Mm.
All right.
So yeah, done with Act 1.
Wow, that was quick. I do like that gadget though, the key fob thing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that it has a couple of different uses. The
and the wolf whistle thing is pretty funny.
Yeah,
that's a good cue dig.
Sure. I guess we didn't talk about the whole sniper sequence with him with her posing as the sniper, that kind of thing. But
I will say that this movie kept me off kilter. Like I couldn't see things coming a mile away.
Okay.
Like they switched things up that I wasn't expecting.
Sure.
Like the fact that she wasn't really a sniper per se.
Right. Yeah. You expect her to be a KGB agent, kind of.
Yeah, because Koskov says the best shooters are women in the KGB. Yeah. So he's sort of laying that groundwork like a sniveling little bastard.
Right. Yeah.
Because I assume that, like, that's the part I couldn't understand is, like, why she still cared about him, because he basically set her up to possibly get killed.
Well, but he told her, I need you to help me by pretending to shoot at me so that I can escape, and then I'll send for you later, kind of thing. So she thought she was helping him escape.
Yeah, didn't she realize that, attempting to kill somebody might get you into trouble?
Yeah, all they needed was the gunshot sounds, I guess, to make it convincing. So
I guess. I
yeah.
was pretty... I was questioning her mental faculties with that
Yeah.
relation. The fact that she wasn't actually doing that, but whatever.
And that's kind of in this like second act of the movie, we meet her, and her entire characterization is just love lost or lovelorn. Like she beams when Bond talks about Koskov and how they're friends and he's there to help get her, and she just wants to know if he's called
smitten.
about her. It's just she's smitten, with Koskov, and then very naive when it comes to everything else, and then she doesn't really, I don't know, become a real person until like the third act when she figures out kind of which side everyone's on, and then she's able to make better choices and become a real person. But throughout the second act, she's just kind of very childish. And
well, let's jump into the second act then.
Yeah.
You could have the police band.
There must be an atmospheric anomaly.
They're looking for a foreign car. A man and a woman.
And a cello.
So the Ruskies get one over on the good old boys of Britain. Nobody's too happy about that.
Yeah.
Because we should say that he's like defecting and is going to. He kind of lays some groundwork about a plan to reinstate a program that goes after spies.
Right.
So he's sort of, you're on his side at this point because you think he's tipping the scales in favor of the good guys.
Right.
So that's where we're at right now. Yeah. And then he gets swept away by the Ruskies. Very Red Dawn-esque.
Sure. So then we have Bond he just shows up at her place.
We get a weird scene here with the trolley car train thing.
Oh, that's right. Because they pick her up off the...
And then the KGB, a.k.a. Sala.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Sure.
Like, why couldn't this Sala be in the later Indiana Jones, the Last Crusade? Because this Sala is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Sorry, I keep calling him Sala, but...
Pushkin, yeah.
Yeah. But, we get... you're trying to figure out what's going on, because he's tailing her. She gets taken... She leaves the cello behind, or the cello case behind, and then he has a weird scene in a bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Not really entirely sure why we had that, but...
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like, I was like, that's like 5 minutes I could have back.
Yeah, that sequence, I don't really have any notes because it is kind of... It's weird to me because she gets off the train... I don't know. It did feel weird of just when she shows back up, like I guess the next day, it doesn't read as the next day.
No,
it seems
not at all.
like it's the same day, just maybe an hour later, until she says, they held her overnight and it's like, I guess in the morning they let her go or something like that. But it reads as being just the same day, and just I thought was odd. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bond is just in her apartment and everything. Or does he come to the door after she's inside?
He comes to the door and tells her he threw the gun in the river or some crap.
Yeah. Which I kind of like that it's not the typical, I'm James Bond. He doesn't like give himself away instantly. And obviously that's because his motive then is to befriend her and pose as Koskov's friend.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes back to her maybe being a little naive and just accepting that this guy who you've never met before is suddenly like trying to get you to... Is his plan initially just get her to Austria?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. To meet up with Koskov later or something like that.
Yeah.
So, that whole part, in this beginning part of the second act, is really just a lot of weird setup, I think, for later and stuff that...
Yeah.
It's probably the weakest part of the movie, I think.
There's a lot of misdirection in this movie.
But it's nice that we kind of they quickly kind of leave her apartment and start the car chase. Well, the car chase sequence, I really do like the bit of him going to the car, the trolley passing in front, her hiding, going to the phone booth, and that whole deception. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So then the car chase really starts off proper, and then I think it's one of the better car chases we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's weird because they revisit this ice car sequence in a Pierce Brosnan movie later.
Yeah.
But this one was really well done. I love the wheels cutting the ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was kind of Looney Tunes-ish,
sure.
But just cutting a hole in the eye. And the rockets and stuff with the 1980s computer graphics on it.
Yeah. When the skis kind of dropped down, I thought, this is a weird, it occurred to me, this is one of those weird gadgets that, why would this be here unless it's specifically to be used in this movie? And then it was like, oh yeah, we had the line earlier from Q saying we've winterized your car. So I thought that was a real nice callback, I guess. Or
I'm fairly confident Q gets the script beforehand when he's making his modifications. That's why it happens to work out that all those gadgets that seem odd get used.
Yeah.
Yeah, that even the cool shot of the spikes coming out of the tire, I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Everything about that whole car sequence was cool, and then they totally ramp it and destroy it as Bond can only do.
Oh yeah,
and then he went from the most state of the art vehicle to a cello case, which is just perfect.
Yeah, I really dig that part.
It's like using the cello as an oar.
Yeah.
Freaking Stradivarius. $150,000 oar.
I like that it gets a bullet hole in it, and then that they call back to that later. I like that remains.
Well, I think they're famous for having a story, so that might add something to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't imagine that would help with the sound of the instrument.
Right.
I'm just not a musician, but I'm thinking that doesn't help things.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. So
they where do they get to Pushkin after that?
I think they cross the border, and that kind of funny sequence when they go underneath the guard.
Yeah.
Nothing to declare.
I love that because he chucks the cello over and then catches it when they come over the border.
Yeah. So that takes him into Austria, and then I think it does cut away to Pushkin, and we meet Brad Whitaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hate Brad Whitaker in this movie. The performance is just this, I don't know, blowhard American.
Oh yeah, he's trying to be Patton.
Okay,
from the movie.
Yeah, I do like that Pushkin calls him out. He's like, what, I'm confused. What military branch did you serve with? And calling him out you got kicked out of West Point and all this. And he's just full of bravado and
He's all bluster.
Yeah. So I like that part of it, but I just, the character and later on we see him playing with his, little military display and all that stuff with the remote control, controlling everything in the room, just really annoyed me. So
an old Joe Down Baker.
Yeah. And he'll pop up later in the franchise, but as a character. So
yeah, he's in one of the Pierce Brosnans, isn't he?
He kind of he kind of takes over the Felix Leiter role, and he's just called Joe, I think. But it's weird because he, like I said, he plays it like a Felix Leiter, but he's named something else, and it's just really weird. So.
Yeah, I know him as a general in Mars Attacks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I'm the only person that likes that movie.
That's a great movie.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be Spaceball in it again.
No. Yeah.
Ooh, got it in. It's back, baby.
You bastard.
Feels good. Feels good.
Are you wearing your shirt?
I am.
So let's see. We've got
So Pushkin sort of. This is what's letting me know that Pushkin is really not in on everything,
sure.
and that something's off.
Yeah, he doesn't trust what Pushkin and Koskov are doing. Something about money that was spent, or
because he needs the money, otherwise, because he knows they've spent it. I think.
Well, I think
he's just calling him out on something. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Well, I think Whitaker says that he's spent the money. He's already got things like on order, and he's already made payments. But then they check his accounts, and they realize that
something's not adding up.
Like he really hasn't spent any money. He still has their money, and he wants it back. So they get. I guess Bond takes time to take Kara to the. It's not an opera, is it? It's just a. I don't know, what is this? Is it a play? Is it an opera? I don't know what they're at. I guess.
I guess I thought it was an opera, but
okay.
I don't know. I'm not that into musical stuff. So.
Meanwhile, like it's really just a convenient time and place for Bond to meet up with Saunders, who he was in the kind of not opening scene, but the post credits first scene with. And I really like Saunders. He's very uptight, but he's also like very competent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I really dig his character. And then
he's a company man.
Sure.
Takes orders, doesn't want to lose his pension.
Mm-hmm.
Classic straight man to Bond.
Yeah. And it really bummed me out when I see Necros show up once they're at the carnival thing and all that.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah. So then, so Necros shows up, and then the whole, like, this is where it seems weird to me that Bond is, like, taking her out on a date kind of thing, but at the same time,
he's meeting up. Yeah.
Well, he's, like, pretending to still be Koskov's friend, and then, so it's really shitty that he's pretending to be this guy's friend, and at the same time trying to put the moves on his girlfriend, and also telling her, like, oh, just go with it, you know? She starts making out with him, and then it's really kind of sleazy, you know.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I don't get the romance vibe from him. I get the anything for a mission, and then also like it's all about him.
Yeah. It's very much like, well, I'm on this mission, so I might as well get what I want.
It's all shoehorned in, like they are making it into this movie just because they have to, because it's part of the formula. Yeah, it's kind of a brutal end to a friendship that Bond is striking up with Whitaker. With oh wait, did I say the wrong person? There's too many characters in this movie. Wait, who the hell was it?
Saunders.
Saunders, that's what I was like. Duh. It's a brute. Oh, I said Whitaker. Saunders. I think Bond finally bonds with Saunders. And, of course, anytime Bond gets close to somebody, bad things happen.
Oh,
man. And I'm assuming that a sliding door just crushed him or cut him in half or something. I don't quite understand it, but...
Initially, I was like, wait, did he get cut in half? But then I think it's meant to be he was crushed. But... yeah, for a brief second, I thought, is he going to be like, you know, one half of him is like outside the door and the other half of it is inside the room or whatever. So I'm sure it was just crushed in the door. So of course they don't show him. So
but I think my imagination made it worse than it probably was.
Yeah, great sequence though.
And then Bond goes chasing after a balloon.
Yeah.
Scares the shit
draws a gun on the kid.
That is a dangerous Bond.
Yeah.
He doesn't care who it is.
I like that in this kind of spot they have like the cello itself has become a plot point. Like earlier in the opera, you know, he gives the information to Saunders like, hey, check out this cello that supposedly was bought by Koskov. And that's information that he's kind of giving Bond here right before he gets killed. And so it seems weird, you know, early on when Bond actually lets her go back to her apartment for her cello, because no other Bond would have taken her back to the apartment to get her belongings, you know.
That seemed a bit out of character for what I'd seen with him so far.
Yeah. So if anything, like, just seems forced, I think that would maybe be it. The idea that we have to take this cello with us and go back for it, you know.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But that cello leads them to uncovering the plot.
Right. Yeah.
The whole finding out how Koskov purchased it and showed his connection with Whitaker. I got it right this time.
There you go.
So I'm trying to think here. Ooh, do we get to the part at the hotel yet?
I think that's about where we're at with Pushkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that is a hardcore scene there.
Oh yeah. Pushkin's lady that we see is her name's Virginia Hay, and she was the like kind of badass warrior chick from Mad Max Road Warrior.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if she has any dialogue here, but she's basically just
she just cries.
It's just set dressing kind of like, and Bond uses her to kind of really roughly strips her in front of
as a distraction.
Yeah, that's a bit uncomfortable.
It was like cold blooded.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't even like remotely sexual.
Right.
For him, it was strictly a distraction, and I think that's why I was like, "This is the coldest Bond I've seen." Like he just uses whatever means to survive, I guess.
Because even like standing her in front of the door would have, fully clothed, would have provided the same distraction for the guard that comes into the room. He's not going to expect her standing in front of the doorway. So that still would have given him the edge he needed to hit him with the door. I mean, she doesn't have to be standing there.
No, not at all.
So
I think they did a better job of this idea of distraction much later in The Whole Nine Yards.
Oh, yeah.
Where the assassin is the woman, and she's topless and distracts the guy she's going to kill with her feminine wiles. But that's a slightly better version of this,
sure.
I guess. But yeah, I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So this is what's happening now. All right. I didn't understand this whole sequence, really. Like, I was caught off guard by the whole Pushkin thing.
Sure, the fake killing of Pushkin.
At first, I thought Necros was setting up Bond to take the fall.
Oh, yeah, that would have been...
Because he shines the light on him.
Right.
And you can't tell who... Like, they make it so you can't tell who really... Like, it makes it look like Necros shot him.
Sure.
And then the light goes to Bond holding a gun. So then everyone chases Bond.
Yeah.
So it did a good job in throwing me off as to where we were going. I don't know if you were thrown off, but I was.
I think I was initially like, I wasn't 100% sure if Bond really killed him or if it was this elaborate, like, you know, I'm going to shoot you with, I guess, with real bullets in your bulletproof vest, which we've added blood packs to, you know, so that whole thing, like, I was pretty certain, like, oh, he's probably still alive.
Yeah. I thought Necros shot him and just set up Bond. Like, that was my note. I thought it was a slick move.
Right. I think it was basically the other way. They wanted to make sure Bond was the one to get the shot off in order to cause the distraction so that Necros can't get it, you know, can't get the shot off, because it's well played, I guess, on both sides. And I like that it's initially it's a little like, what the hell is going on here? What, you know,
because that's the original plan for Koskov, is to have Bond do the dirty work and get rid of Pushkin, because Pushkin's allegedly reinstating that kill spies program by the KGB or whatever.
Schmiert-Spionum.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to try. Sounded like a type of ice cream.
Yeah.
Like Spumoni.
Right.
Yeah.
I like when Bond's on the run, he gets picked up by these ladies, and he thinks for a brief second he's like, when in Vienna, you know.
Yeah.
And it's nice that they take him straight to Felix Leiter.
Yeah, I was like, oh, of course.
Yeah. And this Felix Leiter is John Terry, who, I mean, I know mostly from Jack Shephard's dad from Lost. I don't know if you ever watched Lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Christian Shephard. He does fine as a Felix Leiter, but he's very that casual 80s vibe that I think the previous Felix Leiters were mostly, you know, company men, you know, suits and this kind of that kind of thing. So
yeah, I don't know, those three, the two ladies and Felix Leiter, just gave me like a 70s vibe for some reason.
Yeah, it seemed like the whole like a start of a, you know, porno, like just the way that those two women were like acting and just.
I was thinking Charlie's Angels, but okay.
No. There was a definite, like, once Bond leaves, or hell, maybe even once, you know, maybe Bond stays.
Bond's not going to leave, yeah.
Yeah. I think all four of them got down on the boat.
I would not be surprised if Family Guy did this, but I could totally see Quagmire as Bond. And he'd be like, all right, giggity. They had to have done that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I want to see a Quagmire of James Bond.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I need. I'll search YouTube.
Yeah.
For something.
I forget when we get the reveal that Koskov is like sitting poolside and he's not really kidnapped and he's, you know, got
was earlier on in this.
Got ladies around him and all that. So
because it's even before Whitaker talks with Pushkin.
Okay.
Because Whitaker's already talked with Koskov off the veranda at the palatial seaside estate or whatever.
Yeah.
So they've already been talking. You know, he's not really a defector of sorts.
Okay. Yeah. Because then we get the scene with Koskov and Whitaker, and someone calls on the phone, and they hand it to Koskov, and we don't know who's on the phone.
Yeah.
Then Bond, of course, shows up to talk to Kara.
She roofies him.
Which I kind of like. I mean, it's
because they told her that he's a KGB assassin, right?
Yeah, which you know, on the surface, it seems like she should have, you know, she shouldn't have betrayed Bond, and she should have realized what side everyone was on. But then, if you think about it, like she's been with Koskov for who knows how long. Of course, she's gonna trust him, you know, and not trust this guy who just showed up the day before and tried to.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be trusting him after I got shot because of his plan.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's puppy dog love.
Mm-hmm. But I do like the Bond getting drugged, captured, and then they whisk them away to Afghanistan or the border.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd be like, okay, so you're taking this heart transplant patient to Afghanistan. Nothing against it, but where they're going doesn't look like the best place for surgery.
Oh, all the best heart transplants happen in Afghanistan.
In the desert? Yeah.
In the desert, yeah.
We got to keep it clean and sterile. That was so weird, that case.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What?
Yeah, the whole heart transplant diamond thing seems like a really elaborate cover. Just to, I guess, smuggle some diamonds. Like, surely there's another way to hide diamonds in case you're being inspected at the border or whatever.
I mean, they could have turned Bond into a smuggler.
Turn him into a mule.
Just stuff him up his.
Well, they did that with Diamonds Are Forever. They smuggled, I think, was it diamonds or something in the body of the fake dead James Bond.
Yeah, there's precedence for it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why are they keeping him alive other than to pull that piece of the plan off? Is that it?
I honestly, that kind of stuff all ran together for me.
Because they keep him alive on the plane too.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to piece together why.
Yeah.
Because then they just throw him into a jail cell.
Yeah. And what is it that finally tips off her that James is on the right side and the Pushkin is.
Oh, he flips the container with the diamonds in it.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay, they
he
open the
opens it up.
container. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she realizes that something bigger is going on. And then instantaneously, she's on his side.
Yeah.
It's like really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, it cemented once she's tossed to the jailers as well.
Yeah. And we get to meet maybe my favorite character in the movie, Cameron Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
The other prisoner.
The jail cell.
Yeah. That's Art Malik. And I know him best because he's got those crazy eyes. And he's like the bad guy in True Lies.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what
another movie that has a Harrier jet sequence.
Oh, yeah.
Vertical takeoff thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because he looked very familiar. I constantly do that with these. I have to look who it is, and had to do it a little more difficult. Usually, I do it on Prime because they have that X-ray function.
Oh yeah,
which makes it super easy, but didn't have that this time.
Yeah,
I had to go old school and look it up on IMDb like a savage. I was like, I gotta pull my phone out. I gotta tap some buttons. Jeez, it's the worst. What I do for this podcast, I swear.
Yeah, you're making sacrifices, and you're the real hero here.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we're going to Act 3.
Oh yeah.
You won't help? Perhaps. As long as nothing is done till the Russians pay up and leave.
Right. I'll need some plastic explosives and a timer.
I'll see what I can do.
A giant drug sequence.
Yeah. I really dig the opium sale sequence, all of it. Just the
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of vague, or it's kind of like there's Cameron Shaw, and he leads a group of
it's like resistance.
Something, yeah.
Like in the certain eastern province section or something. Mm-hmm. So he's a divisional leader.
Yeah, and it's like there's another tribal leader here that they have to...
Because there's a leader of the opium group.
Yeah.
The White Leopard or something like that.
Yeah. So it seems like it's all one group of and that could just be the American, in me, that they seems like all the Afghans are one group, but there's really like two groups.
Yeah.
One,
Yeah, the one side is getting the money from them for the opium.
Yeah.
So that they can turn the opium and make a huge profit.
Like $500 million.
Yeah, and then buy more weapons with that.
Right.
I think it's kind of convoluted, but that's the essential thing. And Cameron Shaw is hesitant to go against the White Leopard because of their power as like a drug cartel.
Sure.
Essentially. So they're not on the same side, really.
It's like means to an end, yeah.
Kinda, yeah. So it gets really confusing because this is probably the most chaotic sequence.
Sure.
I mean, it's a lot of horseback firing, and basically it's just horse guys versus Humvee guys.
Yeah. It's like a cross between a Bond movie and like an epic, like a Lawrence of Arabia type, like, desert, and some beautiful camera work here. Like when they wake up in the morning and they set out to do this whole mission, it's like there's a lot of silhouettes against the sunrise kind of thing, and some really great music. I really dig Bond kind of in disguise and helping to load the truck, and then it falls apart for me really once he's like setting the bomb in the plane, and then just abandons his disguise, because they've already shown that he is able, just by using that head wrap, is able to disguise himself well enough to move around freely. And then as soon as he sets the bomb, he just leaves his face exposed and starts to walk off the plane. Like that really, really falls apart right there. And I get that they want to set up Bond being trapped on the plane.
Yeah.
But why not do it like, he takes the bomb into the plane, and then Nekros and Koskov get on the plane, and then they seal up the doors, and Bond is just trapped on the plane with them. Like that seems like that could have been, kind of the same results. It gets Bond versus these two guys, like, or at the bare minimum, have Necros be the only other guy on the plane. Like, he's there to oversee that the opium gets to where it's going.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of coming up with the action sequence before the story, maybe.
Sure.
Like, we can do this, this, and this. Okay, how can we make that work with the story?
Well, I think that they've already done that with having Cameron, showing up with the bulldozer and all of his men on horses. Like, they ride in as the cavalry kind of thing and swoop in. And so they've already got a reason for there to be a big action gunfight sequence. So,
I meant more the where they're chasing him down in the vehicle, and then the guy jumps in, and then the plane coming down crushes the car. Like that sequence.
Yeah, and all of that works. It just that little brief moment of Bond giving himself up.
Well, we all know he's a horrible spy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually right on point.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't go out the door and say, "Hey, I'm Bond, James Bond."
I didn't set a bomb. I mean, that's...
Well, luckily that Bond's very discreet and doesn't beep loudly.
Yeah. Beep,
like,
beep, beep.
But then my words are used against me because I'm like, oh, good thing it was beeping loud.
Yeah, he wouldn't have found it. It's like, then why not just dump all of the opium out the door and let the bomb, go off in the air? I guess because they need it in the next, after the action sequence, they need it to rescue Cameron. But we definitely need to talk about the stunt, the plane stunt with I think it's a C-130, that big like cargo transport plane.
Yeah. I don't know if it is, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But the whole sequence with them, being, trapped outside the plane or climbing up the net and trying to fight and all that stuff is pretty incredible.
Oh yeah, I mean, that whole sequence is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, you have like even before the two planes almost crash.
Oh yeah,
there's so much going on.
Sure.
I mean, the bulldozer, like you said, apparently that was the showers. You just see man ass all over the place.
What? Oh,
when he knocks over the cargo looking containers, there's like naked butts everywhere. Like,
really?
Was a shower seat. Yeah, are you serious?
I had to have been taking notes or something because I totally missed. I saw him like knock down the building, but after that, I didn't see any. That's so funny. I must have been writing something down.
There's like 3 or 4 guys showering, and then all of a sudden, the building gets tipped over, and they're just holding themselves running away.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I completely missed that.
Yeah, and then you got that grenade that explodes the field.
That was cool.
That was pretty awesome.
I like that. I like that he just lets the bulldozer gather a few grenades, and then he rams it into their little bunker. Yeah.
And then Kara is just weird in this.
Yeah.
She's just like chasing after Bond, and then that whole sequence where she's trying to talk to him while he's flying. I'm just like, Bond should have just lifted off and be like, yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I don't. Like, she's just constantly dragging him back. Oh, I gotta get my cello. Oh, I gotta you forgot to take me with you. I should have just stayed with what's his face, Cameron.
Oh yeah.
And then he's got to drop down the thing so she can do like a Captain America TV movie entrance into the plane.
Yeah.
Or Knight Rider entrance, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
But when they did that drop down sequence with her driving in, I totally thought she was going to screw something up and just like ram into like something.
Right.
But smooth entrance, perfect. Her flying skills are less than desirable, apparently, and decision making skills.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool with the plane coming in.
Oh yeah. That kind of was a little surprise. That adds a lot to it.
And it was just cool, like Koskov, like getting hit by the wing.
Yeah, I thought
I'm still surprised he survived. But
I did too. I thought, oh wow, that was his, fireball of death. Like that's a good death, for one of the bad guys. So I was really surprised that they they keep him around for, till the end.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I am utterly confused as to why she thought any of this was a good idea.
oh, the opening the door and then
then flying up. Like,
yeah, the whole like letting her fly thing is it's kind of cool because they show that she's able to at least keep the plane steady until
immediately she changes the plan.
That's true. She does start to climb.
Open the door, drop. Like, what the?
Well, and then it's like as soon as the fight's over and Bond gets back up into the cabin, like then all of a sudden they're headed straight for a cliff that and he has to pull up on the whatever the throttle, not throttle, but pull up on the stick.
Yeah.
But back to the whole cargo net fight outside the plane.
That is awesome.
Yeah. They do a really smart. They do it for real with stuntmen hanging off the cargo net, kind of moving around and in the wide shots, it's definitely stuntmen. And then they do a clever edit, I think, with Bond and Necros in close-ups where you can tell that it has a backdrop underneath them of it's meant to look like rocks, or the ground, but like from a very long way off, like it would be from the height of the plane. So I think it's pretty convincing. Like you can kind of tell that it's probably 10 feet underneath them, but I think they do a good job of making it look like that's thousands of feet away just by kind of blurring it a little bit and making it look very topographical, I guess.
Yeah, I love that sequence.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool, especially when he cut loose some of the opium.
Yeah.
And it starts flapping around like that.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this is pretty intense. Well, that, and, they're raining opium down on everybody, but, whatever.
Well, I assume that once it hits the ground, it just gets pulverized into, like,
clouds of opium.
Yeah.
There's a dust storm
of village
of
people just off their...
They're just passed out on the ground,
Yeah. It's funny to me, like, the whole, like, sequence ends with, of course, the planes going down and all that, and we see them, like, flying over, like, jagged mountains and everything, and there's, obviously, he says there's nowhere to land, and so they bail out in the Jeep, and yet they land on flat ground next to a road, where it's like... We could have just landed the plane,
Yeah,
so,
but that wouldn't have been as cool.
Well, yeah.
That's a pretty slick exit.
I dig that.
Our second smooth exit from a vehicle, this time using a vehicle.
Right.
And Bond saved the day with the bridge explosion.
Yeah, helping out his man Cameron.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like a good bridge explosion.
Yeah. And pretty good miniature too, because it looked, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So that takes us. I like the line once they're in the Jeep and driving towards. Where are they headed?
Oh yeah, he says Pakistan. They're trying to get to, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's a K, like a city or something that starts with a K. I don't know. I didn't write it down. But he's like, yeah, I know a great restaurant here, but then I do like that it immediately basically transitions to Bond and Felix on the radio, and they're infiltrating now Whitaker's estate.
Yeah.
So we get a lot more annoying Brad Whitaker for me. Just all of his lines, all of his.
He just comes across as pompous, and I guess that's his character.
He just seems like a big kid, I don't know. But the fight itself is pretty good. I like the.
Yeah, I like he's mocking Bond's gun.
Yeah,
and shooter.
Yeah, and it's kind of a callback to Dr. No when he says, "Well, you've had your 8, now take my 80." As he,
yeah.
But in Dr. No, he says, Bond says, like, "Well, that's a Smith and Wesson. You've had your 6 or something like that." So,
we got the sliding model of Doom that takes out Bond's legs.
Yeah,
and I like that Whitaker's making fun of the British bust that's back there, and how Bond's hiding behind it, and then that bust then crushes him with his wolf whistle attack.
Right.
Gotta get that last gadget in.
Hell yeah.
And then, yeah, it's pretty much just capturing, what's his face, Koskov.
Yeah, Pushkin shows back up, and they do the whole sending Koskov off to the... they say they'll send him back to Moscow in a diplomatic bag or something like that.
Nice. Yeah, I wasn't sure what they were saying there. I like it, though.
Yeah.
And, yeah, good guys win. There's a weird sequence at the orchestra world tour of... it was just so weird when Cameron shows up with his posse.
Yeah. Like, how did they let him in with all these, like, because we get Gogol makes another appearance. Like they set it up earlier that he's no longer the general or something like that.
And then he's like, we had trouble at the airport, and they're like, I wonder why. It was just a weird, lighthearted note.
Yeah.
It was almost like a sitcom moment.
Sure.
It was just so out of place.
Yeah.
And then my old Bond, looking so romantic.
That's right. There's the romance.
Dressing room.
Yeah.
Credits. There's no like Q trying to peek in with a robot.
Oh yeah. No pervy Q at the end.
There's no phone call where Bond says some sexual quote.
Right.
There's nothing. It's just he's in there and he gets down to business.
That's right. That's the difference here.
Yeah. No quips, nothing. Just straight at it.
Get it done.
Yeah. So yeah, that was James Bond, the Living Daylights.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't even say that he drops the title in the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Where he shot her hand, and he's like, I bet I scared the living daylights out of her.
And the glee in his eyes.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we hit all of our most heroic and all of our wrap-up stuff, I reached out to the James Bonding Lovers Not Experts Facebook group, because there's a Facebook group for the listeners of Matt Myra and Matt Gorley's podcast, James Bonding. And I'm in that group, and I just thought, no, hell, here's a nice group of people that are keyed into Bond movies. So I asked them just for thoughts, and basically just thoughts on The Living Daylights. So I have from Joseph Wimmer. He says, my reactions were very good. The opening scene had me. It was fresh. I recall people were slightly tired of more and thought maybe it got a little silly. Dalton was sort of a course correction, much like Craig after Die Another Day. Says, I would have liked to see at least one more Dalton. He was by far the best actor, acting chops-wise, to play Bond. I recall chatter before the movie, or before, about if he could play Bond, but after the movie, people were on board. And he did see it in theater back in, I guess, 87.
Yeah.
Then we have Michael Pryor. He also says that he saw it in theater and said there was genuine excitement about the new Bond. That was also a bit of a Timothy Who from the press, because the press had been anticipating Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
We talked about that before, because he should have been in this movie, but then NBC, I think, called him back for Remington Steele, I think.
Oh, was that this movie? Okay, I thought it was the movie before. Okay.
And then Michael continues with, as for the film itself, I still rate it as one of my all-time favorites, partly because of Dalton. I was horrified by A View to a Kill, this leathery, wheezing old man making a fool of himself with women a third of his age, goofy Beach Boys jokes and all. Dalton was a breath of fresh air, a cool, confident, but ruthless persona with no safari suits, Tarzan yells, or music gags. He continues with, the plot felt grounded at the time. Rogue Russian generals, Afghanistan, drugs, and intrigue was a world away from supervillain lairs, hollowed-out volcanoes, or space flights. And he says the fight on the C-130 with Necros at the end still stands up today, which we definitely agree with that, I think.
Yeah.
I said, I've seen every Bond since The Spy Who Loved Me in theaters, but for the 13-year-old me, The Living Daylights was the first Bond I felt truly hyped for.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the perfect age.
Mm-hmm.
13. I mean, that's prime Bond.
Right.
Because you're trying to be cool at that age.
Yeah.
And who's cooler than James Bond?
Nobody.
That's right. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not the best influence with how to treat a lady, but...
It's a different time.
Yeah, it was cool in the 80s to just strip a woman naked for a distraction.
Yeah. Real Comic Heroes does not endorse the actions of James Bond. All right.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so do we want to do most heroic and most villainous?
Yeah, we can do that.
This planet, these people, they are nothing to me.
You were made to be ruled.
The universe is power. Pure, unstoppable power.
Come to me, son of Jor-El. Kneel before Zod.
And I am that force. I am that power.
In the end, you will always kneel.
Kneel before your master.
You want to do most villainous first?
Sure. That one was easy for me. I had the Necros killing Saunders with the door.
Yeah, that
felt the
wicked.
most gut-wrenching, the real, like, I even wrote down when you see Necros show up, like, damn it, because I knew that Saunders was about to.
Yeah, he's a bad omen.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, I thought that was definitely the best villain moment. Like, because that's the weird thing about this movie. There's no, like, great mastermind villain. Yeah. Like, the guys we have are just sort of smarmy and doofusy. So, Necros, to me, is more of the true villain in this movie.
Right.
Because he's the one that actually gets stuff done.
Yeah.
I'm going to put down most villainous as the killing of the milkman. It's like, what the hell did he do? You couldn't just knock him out?
Yeah.
I know he killed him. I don't have any hope that he let him live.
Sure.
And all that guy was working hard, delivering milk.
Right.
He almost gets run over by him jogging, so he's already being a douche to begin with. And then he comes back around and strangles him to death. I mean, that's pretty cold-hearted, man. It's like, you got, like, freaking weapons at your disposal that could just knock him out. Why kill him?
Right.
But Necros, man. Necros being Necros.
Yeah. What do you have for most heroic?
I believe there's a hero in all of us.
I just finally know what I have to do.
That keeps us honest.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
Gives us strength.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards.
Makes us noble.
And I know in my heart that it's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any. That was a tougher one for me too. It's like
the most heroic thing for me was Cameron deciding to jump back into the fray.
Okay. But
it's not so much heroic as I think it's him saving face in front of his guys after she took his rifle.
Exactly.
So it's confusing. I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
But he is, willing to go into battle. So I don't know.
That definitely feels like the most heroic moment, just in terms of like that big climax, and then he shows up with the bulldozer and all of his guys coming in on their horses.
He's
and stuff.
The cavalry. He's the cavalry.
But it's like she is the one that led the charge, really.
Yeah, but she's so weird about it. Like, she's got zero plan.
Yeah.
Like, what is she gonna do? Like, if those guys didn't show up,
sure.
Like, what was her plan?
Yeah.
So it was like childish in a way. Like,
it was a gesture. It was more of a
I guess. I want to see the version where she's just turns out to be super badass and kills everybody and saves James.
Well, that'll be the next movie.
Yeah.
The love interest is more of a spy in her own right, you know.
Yeah.
So, I guess my most heroic is going to be, I guess, you know, the whole fight on the plane, and Bond, you know, takes out Necros. He defuses the bomb with 2 or 3 seconds left to spare, and you know, then also uses the bomb to help out Cameron. Like, I guess that whole wrapping up the plane stunt all in one is kind of my most heroic, you know, for Dalton.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like everything is circumstantial heroics.
Sure.
Like, he didn't plan on having that bomb to help him out, but hey, it worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting exercise trying to come up with the heroic part for me.
Yeah, yeah. Until now, I didn't really have one in mind, just because the villain one was
action,
easy.
Man. It's just action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you do the Rotten Tomatoes?
Yep.
Okay.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! They'll beat you, bash you, squish you, mash you, chew you up for brunch, and finish you off for dinner or lunch.
So, I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, okay.
So, let's see. We got a little sneak peek of what audiences thought based on the comments we got from the Bond lovers.
Yeah.
That's a great name. So, yeah. I guess we'll start with critic score.
Okay.
I'm going to go 78% critics.
I'm thinking like a 63.
63, okay. And then audience, I'm thinking it's kind of high up there because this is a very good popcorn movie.
Yeah,
and I think people were excited for a new Bond, like those comments said. So at the time, I think this would have been highly sought after as an audience. The tricky part is this is retroactive.
Sure.
So I'm going to say maybe 83.
85 is what I had in mind, so I'm right there with you. So it'll come down to who's closest. Or obviously it will, but
okay, this surprises me.
Probably way off.
Let's see. So the critic score, not too far off. It's 71.
Okay.
So I was you were, I had 78, you had 63, so we pretty much split the difference there. You're a little closer on that one, especially since I went over. And then the audience one has me flummoxed because that was 63%.
Wow.
So I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's surprising. Yeah. I knew that the Dalton movies, as a, you know, if you lump them both together, I knew that Dalton was kind of on the lower end, I guess, but I thought that was more because of the next one.
It did good in the box office, but then that's probably because it's a new Bond, so it's going to get a bump there.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, it's not rotten, I guess. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's surprising. I thought it always surprised me when the critic score is higher than the audience score on Bond.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, so how about we give our ratings and overall thoughts?
You want to go first or me?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
So this one, it genuinely surprised me. Like I said, I had seen it once, maybe twice before. But mostly this felt like a fresh, rewatch for the first time. In terms of Bond movies, this one's going to be high on my list. Like like I said, it has a reputation for being the serious Bond film, especially after the following up the Moore era. And, but I think there's a lot of nice moments of like some subtle humor, some silly Bond stuff that works for me. Yeah, the only real negatives I had would be the Brad Whitaker role and just the villain plot in general. Like, the plot wasn't too bad, but yeah, there didn't, aside from the henchmen, it doesn't feel like there's a real strong villain team.
Yeah.
So I would definitely rewatch this one, and yeah, I'm giving this a 4.
All right. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at with it.
Okay.
I think if it didn't have Necros, this movie would suffer a lot for me, I think, because I really thought he stole this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed him more than Bond, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I thought Timothy Dalton did a good job and all, but, I mean, he was playing pretty straight, serious Bond, and, like, he wasn't the ladies guy that I was expecting, but maybe I'm just too used to more at this point.
Sure.
But he just seemed more detached than previous Bonds. I didn't get much. He seemed almost like robotic, almost like he was just a killing machine.
Yeah.
I didn't get a whole lot from him as a Bond, but I mean, what he lacked there, he made up for with action, and the action sequences in this movie are just insane. Like, they hold up so well. And I could definitely watch this again. To me, it's just an action film. It's not really a Bond movie so much. I felt like it may have been, like I said earlier, a product of the time where action was action. Like, there was no messing around with, subtlety.
Yeah.
In 87. But
I feel like they still managed to add in enough of that, like, Cold War era, spy espionage stuff really well.
And and that's what I think I'm tying into action with that.
Sure.
It's like it's pieced together fairly well. I mean, it's kind of over the top with like all the circumstantial things, but and they throw a lot at it, like that whole opium like smut thing to hit money to buy more guns to attack like the Afghan groups. But are they really like? It's just it falls into that too much complexity for my taste, but they did trick me on the whole Pushkin thing. Like, I was a little thrown off where that was going. So all in all, it's a solid movie for me. Definitely 4. I think I want to see a whole movie with Necros, but aside from that. So yeah, I think we can recommend this one.
Definitely.
I mean, I know last episode wasn't as unanimous, but I think we have a consensus here.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess next up we're stepping away from Bond and going a little sci-fi-ish.
Just a little bit.
To the world of InnerSpace.
Yeah. That's be an interesting one. I've definitely seen it like as a kid on TV, so this will be the first time I'll have watched it start to finish, and
it's got a lot of Hollywood power in it with Quaid and Martin Short and Meg Ryan.
Oh yeah. So
I'm excited to see it because I remember bits and pieces, but it's been so long, it's kind of fragmented.
Sure.
So I'm excited to take a dip into this one for sure. So I'm liking the 80s and 90s because we're getting into some variety.
Oh yeah.
We're Bond heavy for a while.
Yeah.
So Bond
60s,
is a treat
70s.
again.
Yeah.
Like, Bond was a chore at one point.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I was like, oh.
Well, kind of like with Planet of the Apes. I know for there in the beginning was like another Apes movie.
Yeah.
For me, it was great, but I knew you were a little.
I wonder if we're gonna hit that again when we hit the newer Planet of the Apes, because I've not seen any of them.
Sure, I don't think so, because I think once we start getting into the 2000s, where we have
that's true,
15 movies a year on the list, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it'll all, like, even Star Wars. We're gonna hit a point where we're gonna cover all Star Wars, but they're gonna be so separated by a bunch of movies, We're
going to get Marvel heavy, I think.
Yeah.
And that'll probably be the thing.
Yeah.
2008's when that all kicks in.
Mm-hmm. Oof. So yeah, our listeners should we would definitely appreciate you head over to iTunes, throw a rating our way. You can interact with us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Just search Real Comic Heroes.
Yeah, tell us if you think Timothy Dalton was better in this or in Hot Fuzz. Because I liked him in Hot Fuzz better.
Or Flash Gordon.
Oh, that's right. I was wondering why I saw Flash Gordon. Because I had kicked on to IMDb.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw Flash Gordon listed, but I wasn't paying attention. Why?
Sure.
That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Apparently, we don't agree with 44% of people.
Yeah.
66% surprising. All right. Until next time, folks.
Stay safe out there.
Test pilot Tuck Pendleton wants to make history. Supermarket clerk Jack Putter needs a vacation.
Jack, you're late. That's not good. You know it's coupon day.
Lieutenant Pendleton is about to be miniaturized, placed into this needle, and then injected into this rabbit.
Rock and roll.
But something went wrong, and Tuck's about to get a new destination. Inside Jack Putter.
I'm in a man.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm possessed!
Now, Jack's got twice the problems.
How you doing, Jack?
But he's double the man. With Tuck on his side.
Kicking more accounts!
In his gut. And on his case.
You're not gonna bag groceries all your life, are you, Jack?
And only 24 hours left for Jack to get out of danger. So that Tuck can get out of Jack. Dennis Quaid, Martin Short. Give yourself a shot of adventure. InnerSpace.